Life-changing. That is typically the word people use to describe their menstrual cup when we ask. But before you get to that phase where they make everything in your life easier and better and really improve your periods, they can be very intimidating and there's a massive learning curve. That's why Put a Cup in It is here, to help you make that switch much easier. But I don't often talk about why you should make the switch in the first place. That's something I cover in a lot of workshops I do, but haven't really touched on in the YouTube channel. I decided it was high time we talk about why you should make the switch, especially given the current climate and what's happening out there in the world today. By the way, I hope everyone out there is being safe. I wanted to start with the ones that ultimately are the reason you end up staying with the cup. That is comfort and convenience. When I made the switch almost 10 years ago, it was for environmental reasons, but ultimately what kept me staying with the cup were the comfort and convenience factors, and that is really what turned me into the evangelist that I am today. Unlike tampons, menstrual cups are made from a non-porous material, typically medical grade silicone, but they can also be made from something called TPE. They're just these little bullet-shaped devices, and instead of going in and absorbing the flow, they catch the flow and create a seal inside the vaginal walls that prevents any leaks from coming out. Unlike tampons, you can wear these for much longer, up to about 12 hours, and they are extremely comfortable and, believe it or not, extremely convenient. This is fun. Because the menstrual cup is non-porous and does not have those fibers like a tampon, it is much more comfortable. If you have experience with tampons and you've removed a dry tampon, you'll remember that felt like scratching your entire vaginal canal with sandpaper, but that is not the case with a menstrual cup. It simply just exists inside of you. It does not take anything or add anything. It just is there. And so if you have the right cup for you, you shouldn't feel it at all. And this is one of the biggest reasons to switch to a menstrual cup, is that it is so comfortable, you don't feel it. What will happen when you're wearing the cup is that it will warm to your body's temperature. So even though it might feel like it's kind of buoyant and bouncy outside of you, depending on how firm it is, it should just be. You should not feel it at all. It moves with your body instead of moving against it and rubbing and causing friction. And most people complain about dryness or rigidity with their tampons, and that is not a common complaint with menstrual cups because they don't dry you out and they're not rigid. They do move with you. And for those of you who are more experienced with using pads than tampons, one of the other benefits that you'll notice switching to a cup is that you won't get that sweaty crotch because pads are lined with plastic. And so that whole crotch region will become swampy and sweaty. There's no breathability. And on top of that, the adhesives on the back of the pads can be very irritating for sensitive skin, and they can even pull a pubic hair or two. So another good reason to switch to a menstrual cup. There's no sticky tape back here. Now, at first, when you switch to a menstrual cup, they're not going to be as convenient as tampons. There is that learning curve that we talk about all the time. When you switch to a tampon, yeah, you do have to learn how to kind of poke it in for us Americans who use the applicators. But other than that, there's really nothing to it. But with a menstrual cup, there's a lot to folding it and making sure it's in right, making sure it's not leaking. That can take 1 to 3 cycles. But on the end of that road, what will happen is that you will be finding you are in a much better spot convenience-wise with the cup. You can wear them for up to 12 hours. That means you put them in the morning, and then you can go virtually your entire work day, school day, home day, vacation day, without having to worry about changing it. This isn't the case for people who have heavier flows. You can get a cup with a higher capacity to extend that period of time, or you just change it more frequently. But for the average person, you do get somewhere between 8 to 12 hours of constant wear, and that also means you don't usually have to change it in public, so it is very convenient. When it comes to packing for your day, you don't have to worry, oh, did I forget my tampons or my pads in my purse? You don't have to be constantly a Girl Scout making sure that everything is prepared for you. If you are using a cup and you suspect your period is going to start, you can put it inside thinking it might start that day, which is a huge convenience. You don't have to think, oh, am I ruining my underwear while I'm working and I don't have time to run to the bathroom? And if you're already on your period and you leave for the day, Your vagina is your purse. Your menstrual cup is already in you. You don't have to worry about bringing your extra cup or your extra pads or whatever it is you need to bring. So it is super convenient. And if you don't want to put it in before and you just want to keep it in your purse, they don't take up very much real estate. They, travel in a little pouch. They're very small. You don't need 20 of them. You just need the one. When you're going on vacation, you don't need to pack a box of tampons or a box of pads. You just bring this one little item for your trip. So it saves a lot of space. It saves a lot of mental space too. I think that's part of the convenience that I personally appreciate so much. I do travel a lot when the world events allow, and so it becomes very easy for me to have this in, not worry about it the entire day, and even when I'm getting on a plane, put it in if I suspect my period's starting that day, and have that mental peace of mind that I'm not going to ruin the outfit or ruin clothes that I've packed. So it really does free up physical space and mental space, and I think that can be worth everything, the whole reason to switch. And another convenience that a lot of us have taken for granted that we're really experiencing right now is not having to run out to the store when we're out of period products. So if you are currently a cup user, that has probably crossed your mind many times in the last few weeks that you don't have to run out to the store to buy a box of tampons or pads. And a lot of places are out of those. So I know for you watching now, and if it is currently still the way it is out there now, with shelves being bare of period products, you can still make the switch. And you have, especially if you're self-quarantined, a lot of time to figure it out before leaving the house. So in fact, now is a really awesome time to try a menstrual cup. Now, back to some of the reasons on paper that you might be thinking are the reason to switch, and they are, but they're just not something you'll see throughout your cycle that are as important as the convenience and the comfort. Money savings is something you will find, and it's just a natural byproduct of switching to a cup. You can buy your cup, which they run anywhere from $20 to $40, and in the long run, you will absolutely save money. Well, it certainly varies person to person on how much you'll save because of how heavy or light your flow is and the premium or cheapest products that you typically buy. You'll usually spend about $2,000 thereabouts on your period products in a lifetime. So depending on what age you switch, that could mean you save $1,000 or $500 or $200. It really, there's no cutoff age on when you can switch and when the benefits end. Because in just about 2 to 6 months, depending on the product you buy, you will already have recouped your investment. Any use after that is just free money. You're not spending on pads or tampons. So to some people it's a lot, to some people it is insignificant, but it happens regardless. You're saving money if you switch to a cup. So that's a byproduct and a benefit. And then environmentally, that's actually the reason I switched to a cup. I really wanted to reduce my own waste. And it really depends on the age that you switch, but most people are going to use somewhere between 8,000 to 10,000 pads or tampons in a lifetime as long as they're menstruating. So I started using cups when I was 25, 26, 27, I don't even know. And yeah, I've been using them almost 10 years. So I have cut down a significant amount of waste in that period of time. I have not used a single pad or tampon. That is huge. And it makes me feel much better about my own periods, and of course has a domino effect on some of the other things in your life. So I think switching to a cup can open up your eyes to a lot of other things you can reduce your waste on, and that's only going to be a benefit to the planet and also to your wallet, because the more things you reuse, the more money you save. Now, health is a reason that I know a lot of people have considered switching to a cup. And for me, it was not at the forefront of my mind, but now thinking back on it, it's really made me appreciate using a cup more and more as I get older. Cups are made, again, from a medical grade silicone or a TPE. And because of this, they are not adding any scents. They're not full of chemicals. Everything's a chemical. I get those comments all the time. Medical grade silicone, air is a chemical, water is a chemical. Yes, but these are not toxic chemicals. These are not laden with things that shouldn't be in your vagina. Your vagina is a self-cleaning environment. You don't need to add floral scents. You don't need to add anything to the product that's going in your vagina. You don't need to clean it with anything. And so when you're using a menstrual cup, that whole experience is very inert. You put it in, it catches the flow, it comes out. And if you're using tampons and it is leaving microabrasions, if you're releasing the tampon and it's dry, it is scratching up the inside of your vagina, and that can be a breeding ground for bacteria. Now, TSS is a very tricky, touchy topic. Obviously, TSS can be caused from anything. People who don't menstruate can also contract TSS, but it is very commonly associated with tampons. And certainly the case number of people getting TSS after using tampons is far greater than the case number of people who have gotten it by using a cup. Of the cases of cup users who have contracted TSS that I know about, there are 2, and those 2 cases, both people wore the cups way longer than the time they should have. And so if you follow the guidelines of using a cup the way you should not contract TSS. I can't say never because no one can say never, but there are other factors like scratching the inside of your vagina you need to be concerned about, and that's with tampons or cups. Other ways to introduce bacteria. Washing your hands, very important, now more than ever, but also when you're using your cups. And another thing we hear so often is that cups either make their periods lighter, make them shorter length of time, or reduce or even eliminate their menstrual cramps. This is people telling us in our group. We have 45,000 members. There are polls all the time if people have experienced this, and it has been experienced often. People have shorter periods, lighter periods, less cramps. There's no evidence to back this up. It's all anecdotal. But after years and years and years, I hear this in person, online, all the time. So there is some merit to it. And I definitely believe people are having those experiences. So it might not be a reason to switch, but it could definitely be a benefit. And it's worth a try, even, maybe it will work for you. Who knows? I always tell people that I started using a menstrual cup for environmental reasons, but I stayed with it for the comfort and convenience. There is completely nothing like using a menstrual cup. It is life-changing if you find the right cup for you. You will experience periods in a completely new way. And another benefit people don't talk about often is just that you get to know more about your body. You get to experience your period completely differently. You get to see your period, and you mostly never get to see your actual flow. You can learn more about your health. You can learn more about your own cervix, your own vaginal canal, your own uterus. These are things that and may make you more comfortable with yourself, may even make you more comfortable in the bedroom. We hear that sometimes. So, there's probably 50 reasons to switch to a menstrual cup, and this is only the tip of the iceberg. I'd even say that the community that you can find by switching to a menstrual cup could be an excellent reason. You are exposed to other menstrual cup users through all these different forums and channels, including our menstrual cup group on Facebook. So, 500 reasons. I could talk about this all day. But whatever your reason for switching, you should just switch. Just get it, just do it. I know it's a lot of fear. It can be intimidating. I know I was terrified. I even have a video about my first experience on the YouTube channel if you're interested. It didn't go well at first, but I am here now telling you that it is truly life-changing, and I would never go back to tampons, ever. Thanks so much for watching, and if you could please subscribe to Put a Cup in It. We are still inching towards that exciting 50,000 subscriber milestone, and I would love to hit that really soon. You can also find us on our Facebook group or Facebook page. Our Facebook group is a great place to troubleshoot. You can search up Put a Cup in It community and find us there. And if you do want to switch to a cup, we would definitely recommend taking our menstrual cup quiz. We always link that in the video description, along with lots of other helpful links that you can use to get started on your menstrual cup journey. Best of luck, and thank you so much. And please stay safe. What's happening in the world? The reasons you should switch. I cannot talk this morning. The adhesives that you find in the, and on top of that, the adhesives that you, I'm sorry if you hear